Hi, everybody. Welcome back to my channel. I'm Rhiannon. And if you're new here, I am a full-time professional tarot reader, astrologer, and I work on several of the world's top psychic platforms. And that's what we're going to be talking about today because last week was my 5-year anniversary. And I can't even believe how, as cliche as it sounds, how time flies. And so I thought, let's go down memory lane a little bit and use this opportunity to talk about the hotlines and what my experience has been like and would I do it again? I think we all know the answer to that. It's yes. So I started on, I believe my very first platform was Meet My Psychic, but I literally don't even know if I ever did one reading there. It was so slow, painfully slow. Meet My Psychic or Meet Your Psychic, I can't remember. um they wanted me to have a set schedule, like they wanted me to guarantee that I just sit there waiting for literally nothing. So but I believe that getting hired there was the key, so that when I applied to the next line, which would be Purple Ocean, I was able to put down, yes, I've worked for Meet My Psychic. So I believe that did help. And I'll just kind of give you a little bit of a backstory. I applied to Purple Ocean during a Mercury retrograde, and I didn't have any equipment yet. I didn't have any tripods or anything. And Purple Ocean, what I do like about it is that it's run 100% from your phone. You operate everything from the same app that the customer orders their reading from. It's just that you get access to a different side of the app. So anyway, I applied through the Purple Ocean app, which, by the way, I do believe, rumor on the street is that Purple Ocean is hiring again. However, I'm going to preface that there's always so many little floaties and orbs in here that I don't realize until I use this camera. So I don't know if this camera picks up a frequency of light that I don't normally see. It's just crazy that I always see all kinds of little fluffies. But anyways, um as far as I know, as far as everything that I've heard, is that now you only get one chance to apply. If it's a no, it's a no. You can never apply again. So I don't recommend you run out and apply unless you are 100% sure that you're ready. I can say that it was a lot different back when I applied in 2019 because I sure as shit wasn't ready. I had no idea. I had no business doing what I did, but I went ahead and did it anyway. And so anyway, so I just had my phone propped up back there on that bookshelf right there. It was in a different configuration, and I had this brand new quartz tower. Hold on, let me grab it. And I had this brand new quartz tower on a grid sitting kind of like next to it or below it. And I finished my 3-minute the interview as far as what it used to be. Again, these things could have changed because they've been on, oh, why does it say 5-year anniversary? And I don't even think I spelled it right because I didn't plan on that being, I just thought that was going to be the label for my video. I didn't know it was going to show up on the screen. So I definitely wasn't hired for my excellent spelling skills, I can assure you. But anyways, okay, so I had just bought this quartz tower and I finished the 3-minute interview and I was so nervous. And then I dropped my phone, cracked the screen of my brand new phone. This was 5 years ago, so it was a different phone. Cracked the screen and broke the whole tip of this, which you're probably not going to be able to see because what am I doing? The camera on this computer is not the best, but it chipped the whole tip of my crystal. And I cried and I cried and I cried. And I was like, if I don't get this job. And I believe when I applied, it took me about 2 or 3 days to be told that I was hired. And I do think that they were expediting it because they did want a bunch of people on because they were getting ready to have a Valentine's sale. I started 2 days before Valentine's Day. So anyways, all I can speak from is from what things were like when I applied. It could be different now, but it used to just be a 3-minute interview, a pre-recorded, just similar to if you go to Purple Ocean as a client, you can order a 3-minute reading where somebody like me as the advisor has either 24 hours to turn that back to you or 1 hour, which is called a rush order. You're going to pay more for a rush. I'm going to make a little bit more for a rush. You're going to pay less for a 24-hour. I'm going to make a little less. But anyways, so, and the questions were pretty general, which probably would have stumped me now because I'm not great at general readings. And I kind of think that's kind of a little bit odd because in my experience, not only on Purple Ocean, Purple Garden, but on all the other hotlines I work on, it's best to work in specific questions. Your clients are going to end up with more clarity if they start with a specific question. So I'm not sure why they do general, but anyway, all of these things are my opinions from my experience. I do not have official approval from Purple Ocean to I'm not their spokesperson. I'm an independent contractor. I do think they're a decent company to work for. I feel like they used to be a lot better in 2019. I know that there are a lot of people that follow me and watch me here that are on that hotline, and you would have seen that I made a post in the most of these hotlines have like advisor only groups where, you can talk online on Facebook and stuff. And I had posted, it was my 5-year anniversary, but I was kind of bummed because this month, Purple Ocean has always done 2 sales per month. One on Purple Ocean, which is the pre-recorded 3-minute videos, and one on Purple Garden, which is the live features. So live phone call, live chat, live video. It's always been that way. But when I started on the Purple Garden side, the client would get 50% off whatever we were charging. They got 50% off, but we still made our full commission. So back then on Purple Garden sales days, I would easily make $1,300 to $1,500 in less than 24 hours, right? Because I didn't work. The sell ran for 24 hours. Obviously, I'm not going to work for 24 hours straight. So from the time the sell started to the time the sell ended, I would easily make $1,300 to $1,500. Then they sold the company. They merged with a different company, and immediately things began to change. And, I remember I read a book back in my 20s that was called Who Moved My Cheese? And it's a great book. It's a little book, and it's about basically staying adaptable. And if you fear change and you're resistant to change, then you're going to be stuck and stagnant and you're not going to be successful. And I totally agree. So that literally changed my mindset at such a young age. But at the same time, it's like I was flexible. I wasn't immediately like, when they first merged, there were advisors that were immediately like, oh no, this is going to be horrible. Da, da, da. Well, guess what? Because those advisors worked for other lines that this company they merged with own, which I believe is Keen and Zodiac Psychics. I'm pretty sure. Don't quote me on that. So anyway, they kind of knew that it wasn't going to be great. And they were right because almost immediately things started to change. Like, for instance, on the rush order where it's a 1 hour to turn over a 3-minute pre-recorded video, the customer used to pay $15. And out of that, us advisors, we would make $6. Well, almost immediately it went to the customer still paying $15, but now we're going to make $5.35 or some random amount. And then on the 24-hour standard order, the customer would pay $10. We used to make $4, and now instead we make $3.35 or something, which it doesn't sound like that big of a difference. But when that's already like not a lot of money to get paid anyway, and here's the thing that you should know. And again, I'm not here to bash this line because I think it's excellent and it changed my life. And then it's the reason that I became a coach and helped so many other people. Trust me, I've made Purple Ocean more money by the people and the advisors I've brought in than I've made working there. You know what I mean? Like, I have coached a lot of people, and many, many, many of them are very successful. Now, a few of them aren't, and that's because they were lazy and they didn't do anything. And I dare some of those people to pop off because your girl got some receipts. So if people want to run their pie holes, and if you ever hear anybody running their pie holes about my coaching, please do let me know because, I don't expect everybody to be happy. There's always going to be critics. But if you're going to try to criticize my coaching when you never even showed your ass up to work, you can't blame that on me. You can't blame laziness on me. I can't do it for you. I can't. Anyway, don't let me get on a side uh rant. Okay. So back to the merger. So they started cutting things. And then the next thing to go was the sell, the Purple Garden sell, which is 50% off for the customers. We would make our full immediately. Like, nope. Now, because anyways, on Purple Garden, I believe that the amount that they take, it's like, they take like 85%. It's not even 80/20. They take a huge cut of your money. So on that line, when I do live phone calls, which I rarely ever do lives on there anymore, and here's why. I have to charge like $10 a minute just to make less than what I make on my other preferred line. My other preferred line is Everclear. And I love Everclear. I'm so grateful. I was worried a couple months ago. I thought they were going to go under because they are a much newer platform. And, this economy is hurting people. But anyway, on Everclear, they take like maybe 30% or something. So anyway, so we would only get 50% of the like 18% that we make anyways, right? So this customer calls, they're paying, well, let's say half of $9.99, so $4.99 or whatever that is. And then I only get then that half of that, but then I only get the 20% of that half. Does that make sense? I'm basically making nothing. So on top of that, my gripe about the purples, especially on the Purple Garden, which is the live features, is that I would say 99% of the time when I get a phone call come in, it never connects on the first time. It almost always doesn't connect. The customer has to call back, call back, call back. Finally, I'll be able to connect and answer. And it's such a bad connection. I cannot feel good about charging this person this much money per minute when they can barely hear what I'm saying. So that was really the reason that I started looking for another platform, because I'm just like, I in good conscience cannot charge this much when they're getting cut off, they can't hear me. It's just a bad connection. And I know that they're probably trying to work on that, and I'm sure it's a nightmare. Oh, and also in their defense, okay, because they're an app versus Everclear's a website, they have to pay so many fees to be listed on the App Store for like Apple and Google App Store, whatever. Like they have to pay tons of money to those places to have their app on the app stores. Then additionally, obviously they have employees they have to pay, support, tech people, and they run ads. So I'm not saying that they don't deserve to take a cut of money. You know what I'm saying? It's just, come on. What I think needs to happen is, for sure, on the Purple Ocean side of things, they should start charging more for the 3-minute videos. They should charge more and then make it like a 4 or 5-minute video. And that's just too cheap. It's like $10, $15. It's just too cheap. And then one of my gripes about that is that a customer can order this $15 reading. I provide them a 3-minute reading. However, it then opens up messaging for 48 hours after I deliver that video, where these clients can harass us and be like, I don't understand what you're saying. Can you give me more clarity? And these clients they're bigger experts than you, because when you start on a line like that, you have no idea, which is why I do recommend coaching with somebody like yours truly. So if you're interested in that, please do join my group on Facebook that's called Psychic Hotline Helper. I will leave the link below, and you can message me to set up coaching. It's a little bit different than it used to be, because I used to basically guarantee you would get hired on Purple Ocean, Purple Garden, and those days are over. And just so everybody knows across the board, this industry is much, much more competitive. And that's because everybody and their dog and their grandma is reading tarot now and applying for these jobs. Everybody wants to work at home. Everybody wants, and I don't blame them, because it's an amazing life, you guys. I truly am so blessed. And that's why, even though I'm being critical, I'm saying the things I'd like to see different. I will forever be grateful for Purple Ocean, Purple Garden. I almost feel emotional giving me a chance, because it just changed my entire life, and it put me in a position to change a lot of other people's. And I will just never be able to say thank you enough. And so, yeah, I don't want to sound ungrateful, because I'm truly, truly not. And I'm also not trying to scare anybody from applying, but it's not as easy as it was when I was doing this 5 years ago. And that's also why, like, if you've been thinking about doing this for a while, don't wait, because things change, you guys, and things get harder. And, I will reiterate some things that I've probably said a million times, but you do not need to be the expert reader that you think that you do. In fact, most likely the style of readings is not going to be anything like what you're used to doing anyways. And the longer you're stuck in your habits or your style of reading, the harder it would be to adjust to a hotline environment. So remember that most of us in this, sorry, I just got to clear those emotions. Remember that most of us that are attracted to spirituality all have imposter syndrome. Don't think for 1 second that I thought that I was a good reader. In fact, I knew that I was like, what are you doing, girl? But I was like, what do I have to lose? At the time, 5 years ago, I still had an income coming in from Social Security from my husband passing away and the father of my kids. So I had the luxury for the first 2 years that I knew that I still had my money, and that really made it easy on me. For people that are working another full-time job and things like that, it's a lot different. But um so anyways, let's talk some highlights. So some highlights are, I still have customers from Purple Ocean that come to me to this day that started coming to me 5 years ago. And if honestly, if it wasn't for them, I don't know that I would even still be on there because I'm on there so little. I used to be the top one or two advisors that you would see at the top of the screen. And now I'm like probably hundreds and hundreds down because I'm just not on there. And I've lost my ranking in the algorithm. And again, that's why it's good to coach with me because I understand their system and I understand how you can get yourself to go higher if you're not. So even if you're somebody that's already working on Purple Ocean, Purple Garden, they don't train you. So, and most other advisors are not going to be handing out advice for free because you're basically their competition. So it's like, one, I deserve to get paid for my time. And two, I'm training you to be my competition. So yes, I deserve to be compensated. Right. And three, I've given a lot of coaching away and nobody that's ever gotten it for free has ever appreciated it. I will say, please don't email me a sob story about trying to get free coaching from me, which I've actually had a few times. I've had several people over the past couple weeks. Listen, I'm an empathic person. I really do care. I'm sorry if you're struggling, but that's not on me to provide my services for you for free. I figured it out on my own. I didn't have a coach. Okay. So if you're that down and out, but I'm open for trade, but I'm not just going to trade you whatever random service or item that you have. If it's not something that I want or I value, then I'm not going to trade you. And I'm not doing it for free because I've done it too many times and people freaking burn me every single time and they don't do the work. I'm sorry. I sound like one of those old boomers. It's like, if you don't work for it, you're not going to appreciate it. But that's just the facts. So please just save yourself the time and the embarrassment and me the time. Don't email me some sob story trying to guilt trip me into free coaching. It's not going to work. I have given plenty of free information on videos like this. Go find my other videos. Are you even subscribed to me? Do you even comment on any of my videos? Like, are you even giving me any energy value, let alone any monetary value or any other type of physical value? People literally just have a lot of nerve coming out of nowhere. I have no idea who you are. I owe you nothing. Asking me to just hand you over my years and years and years of experience and of trial and error, when also on top of that, how many other people have paid how much money to coach with me? It's not fair. Please don't expect me to do that because I won't. That's the end of that rant. And if you think that this was meant for you, then you're probably right. So you shouldn't have been asking for free shit. It's not cool. It's not cool. Um, Clear that. And back to some of the highlights. So some of the highlights are, again, just the people that I've met. Most of my clients there have been really, really, really good. A lot of them are obsessive. Since I started doing more psychic hotline content, it's coming up in my algorithm, other people that have made videos about psychic hotlines, and almost every single one of them are people just annihilating and just, I don't know. I think they're scaring you guys so that you don't want to work here, to be honest, because it's not that bad. It just really isn't. Like, yes, it's 99.9% love relationship related. That's just the facts. And I feel like that's been the case with tarot. It's a tale as old as time. People who come to fortune tellers and tarot readers, it's usually for relationship stuff. It's very seldom career. It's very seldom personal growth. But here's what I'll say. They may come to me the first time or maybe even the first 3 or 5 times for relationship stuff. But then I start to build rapport with this person and we start to feel comfortable with each other. And then they start to be open to more coaching. Okay. So don't give up and just, my biggest goal is client retention. If this client doesn't come back to me again, I didn't do my job right. I don't think just because they didn't leave me a bad review that means I was a success. I think a lot of people don't leave bad reviews even though they want to. They're just like not assholes, right? You guys have probably also heard me talk about how I just think that as a whole, the readers in this industry need to take more accountability because all I ever hear is, oh my God, I can't believe they left me a bad review. They just didn't hear what they wanted to hear. Well, maybe you were an asshole. Maybe you were rude. It wasn't what you said, but how you said it. I think there's way more room for personal accountability here. From my experience, I also think it's like what your mindset is. If you go into it every day expecting to be annoyed, then you're going to be annoyed. If you go into it every day being grateful for the opportunity that you have, which is, I'm not, just trying to float my own boat, but that's just the way that I live my life. I've been through too much darkness to be pissed off if I have a client who is obsessed with a guy that's blocked her 2 years ago. That's a her problem. That's not a me problem. I'm kind of going off on some soapboxes here, but I hear a lot of readers too that are like, I'm just not going to read on third party situations. I'm sorry. I'm not going to read on that if this person's married. So let's say that you're a licensed counselor. Are you going to not take any clients who are having affairs? Like that's completely unrealistic. And it's also like, who made you God? Who put you in a position to be judging other people? And if you are in such a high place to judge, then this isn't the job for you anyways. If you're so holy and perfect, then you probably, this is a industry for the wounded healers. This is the Chiron energy. People who have gone through some shit are the people that can help people get through some shit. And if all you can do is judge people, then this probably isn't for you. And if you're going to insert yourself in this industry anyways, then don't be surprised when you're not successful. And that's not because you told people what they didn't want to hear. It's because you're judgmental, closed-minded, and holier than thou. And guess what? It shows. So I don't care if people don't want to hear that. I don't care who it pisses off. You know what I mean? It's true. Why somebody thinks if they're on the other side as an advisor that they're better than these people, I just have never understood that mentality. And that I believe has a lot to do with my success. And yes, sure, I've been an open book on my channel. So anybody that knows anything knows, obviously I'm in a relationship that started from an affair. I've owned that fully. So I guess I can't say, but I've just never been that type of person to judge. So I really don't think that I would change my stance on that, but I guess we'll never know. But if that is you, if you're thinking about getting into this industry and you are like, no, I don't do that. I don't do this. I don't do that. It's not for you. Just run your own business and be judgy McCarran in your own world. You know what I'm saying? Don't bring it over here because these people deserve somebody like myself or a lot of other advisors that don't judge. They can find another reader that will not make them feel like a piece of shit for just living their lives, right? Sin is sin. Who are you to say one sin is worse than the others? And these are the same people that want to harp on Christianity and harp on Christians, but look at you. You're the same. It's icky. So, highlights are the people for sure. I've met a ton of other great readers, a ton of lifelong friends. And yeah, there's definitely way worse lines to work for than the purples. Has it changed over time? And in my opinion, not for the better. Yes, but it's still for me, but under Everclear, it's still at the top because they are consistent. Now, I did have somebody in my psychic hotline helper Facebook group, or maybe they messaged me on my personal page, which is Rereads Tarot LLC. And they asked, hey, I've heard that I've been wanting to apply, but I've heard it's really, really slow. Would it be worth it? Listen, yes, the economy is horrific. But I've been hearing people talk about how slow it is since I literally started in 2019, because those same people that are probably like, oh, I don't do third party readings. They're the same people that are in there like, I'm so slow. Like I haven't been, because you suck. You're not a good reader. And when you go read their profile and they list 7,000 things that they don't read on, you're slow because you don't read for the type of people that want to get readings. Read the room, understand the demographic of the clientele. And when you're literally refusing 90% of the orders that would come in, don't be surprised that you're slow. So, what I'm saying by that is there's always been people saying it's slow. I personally have a quota that I need to hit every single week to pay my bills. Okay. For me, I need to make no less than $1,000 per week. That's my minimum. Okay. I am more comfortable around 1,500, and there's been times when I've really been hustling and I do, 8,000 a month. But I have never ever, not during COVID, not now in this economy, I've never not hit my quota, which is a minimum of $1,000 a week. So that's $4,000 a month minimum that personally I'm making. Now, can you expect to just come in and be me? No, because I'm a fucking stellar reader and I don't care if you think I am or not. I don't need any external validation because I have all the receipts to back it up. Okay. But also because I've been there. And so I have built up a very regular, consistent clientele. Okay. And that's where you need to really put your focus is on not just, this one reading. You need to look at it like, how can I build a rapport, build a connection with this client so that they want to keep coming back to me? That's how you're going to make sure you have consistent clientele. But so to that person or anybody else saying, is it worth it? Fuck yes, it's worth it. It's worth it. Don't listen to all the naysayers. There's literally always been the same amount of people saying, I'm not making any money. And no. Well, now based upon what I am saying, there's a reason for it, and it's not always the economy or whatever. Okay. Oh, I was going to share some stats. So I started in around Valentine's Day of 2019, and currently, if you pull up my profile, which my name as a reader on Purple Ocean is Rhiannon Rambles. So to date, I have done 7,036 readings. I have 3,020 positive reviews and 22 negative reviews. Okay. Now, I worked 100% on Purple Ocean Purple Garden from February 2019. And then I started on Everclear in November of 2019. And I was still making Purple Ocean my priority till around, I don't know, I feel like it was the summer or fall of 2020. That's when like the mergers happened and things started to change. So had I stayed at the consistency that I started at on Purple Ocean, I would easily have 30,000 readings easily. It sucks, and I've mentioned this before on Purple Ocean. Like again, right now, I'll pull up my stats right now. Advisor score. I'm in the 99th percentile for earnings, meaning only 1% of all their advisors made more than me in the past 2 weeks. I'm in the 80th percentile for feedback and the 83rd percentile for repeat clientele. Okay. But if you look at my profile for thumbs up, it's only going to say 300 because their platform does it differently. On Purple Ocean, Purple Garden, the client can leave you a smiley face or a frowny face and a review every single reading that they get. And because I have such a high percentage of repeat clients, I still get to rack up the reviews. On Everclear, unfortunately, they can only leave a thumbs up once. Oh, I actually have 301 thumbs up. I didn't realize. Let me check my reviews. I think I got a review, which is always exciting. I don't see a new one, but this is what sucks about Everclear. So let's say that this client left me a thumbs up and a positive review. Next time they leave me a review, but they forget to hit the thumbs up, it's going to take away the one from next time. Yet they don't allow them to leave a new one every time. So it looks like I've only done 300 freaking readings and almost 5 years. So my 5-year anniversary with Everclear will be this November. Okay. And I've been fighting tooth and nail. And if you work for Everclear, please email support and say, can we pretty please have either customers be able to leave a thumbs up every time, or please show how many readings we've done, because it's just not a proper representation of the work that we do. But that's, again, a whole other tangent. Okay. So, yeah, 7,000 readings. I have a 5.0 score. I'll tell you, one of my bigger gripes with them is that I used to always be a top accuracy advisor, but when I stopped prioritizing them and I started prioritizing Everclear and I wasn't making all that money, all of a sudden my top accuracy banner disappeared and I've never seen it since. So what does that tell me? It tells me that the top accuracy really doesn't have anything to do with your accuracy. It has everything to do with the money that you're making them. And fine, whatever. I was making a lot of money because I made $60,000 the first year. That was in less than 10 months. Okay. It was less than 10 months. So if I made them 60,000 and they're making 80 something percent more, do the math, how much money I made them the first year. Right. And again, how many advisors I've brought in that have made at least that. And I know a couple of them are making much more than that. So, and I had a little bone to pick. I had talked with support a few times and just let them know, hey, just, I don't know if I need to let you know, but I'm just kind of giving you a heads up. I do offer coaching hotline, psychic hotline coaching on the side. And they're like, oh yeah, that's cool. Da, da, da. In fact, one of the times I asked, because some of the psychic hotlines will give people like me referral codes. So they'll pay me a bonus if I bring people in. So I was asking Purple Ocean. They're like, no, we don't do that. I'm like, okay, cool. Whatever. But somehow it got brought up again about a month ago, and it was somebody new in support, and she gave me the freaking third degree, and I did not appreciate it. And it's like, not only should you not be giving me the third degree, you guys should be effing thanking me for how much money and revenue I've brought into their platform, not from my personal readings, but from all the people that I've coached. Even the people that didn't make it and didn't last, they still were there long enough to put money in their pocket. So I really did not appreciate that. But anyway, I'm pretty sure my husband's going to be home, and this is already 30 minutes long, and I'm obviously on a tangent today, so I could just go on and on and on forever. So, anyways, happy 5-year anniversary. I'm forever grateful. I'd really slowed down on the coaching, but I'm kind of picking it up again because I can see that there's a desire, and because the economy is so hard, a lot of the people are just trying this as a side hustle, which is perfect. And there's no pressure. So rather than email me and try to beg me for free coaching, what we can do is set up a payment plan. I am more than happy to do payment plans. And if there is something that is actually something I would value or need, if you want to propose a trade, please do. But don't think just because you've offered to trade me something that means I'm obligated to take it. Okay. And please utilize these videos. Ask questions. If you ask a question, you're like, hey, Ree, I want to know XYZ. Not only will I answer, I'll make a video and we can talk about it. Okay. So yes, it changed my life forever. And I'm just so grateful. And I can't believe it's already been 5 years, and I can't wait for 5 more years. Honestly, I see myself doing this for at least another 5 years, until I build the rest of my social media empire. I'm putting a lot of my energy into my TikTok. If you're not following me on TikTok, it's completely different content. It's more of like personal, kind of like just who I am. It's just me. It's just whatever I'm talking about. But I'm doing the TikTok shop. I'm getting a lot of different affiliate opportunities to be an affiliate. So that's what I'm not hoping. That is what I'm manifesting. That is what's going to be taking off. But even if I keep blocking my own abundance. Let's go to the timeline when I'm already making 10 to 15,000 a month on my affiliate, which I will be doing by the end of 2024, because that's what's going to get me into my house to Mexico. So when that happens, I can still see myself wanting to do this because that's how much I care about my clients. And that's how much I enjoy this job. And it will be that much more enjoyable when I'm not stressed about having to show up. And that will be like maybe my last thing that I talk about. Energy drain is real. And I have to honor, like when I do not have the energy, I cannot work up. I can't work. I can't show up. It's not fair to my clients that I read coming from that place. And I have really tried to work on my energy maintenance. But if you think that you have a protection regimen and a grounding regimen, whatever you're doing, you're going to have to double that. Or, it's just, you can't imagine the energy drain that you get when you're doing this type of work. So there definitely is. And I ended up gaining like 60 something pounds, which I've now lost. And now I'm just back at like my regular, so I still want to lose another probably 30 pounds, which by the way, I'm not gatekeeping. I'm on semaglutide. This isn't really a lifestyle channel, which is why I don't talk about it, but I'm not trying to hide it. I'm using semaglutide, which is a GLP-1. I've never felt better. It's completely changed my life as well. Not just because I've lost weight before, but I still had sleep apnea. I still had all these other health issues. My health issues because blood sugar is such an important thing. So even if you guys want to see a video on that, I'm happy to talk about it. You guys should know me by now. There's nothing that's off limits. I have the biggest mouth and I will talk. So just leave a comment. That's all you got to do. So happy anniversary to me. Thank you to Purple Ocean Purple Garden for giving me a chance. I'm thrilled to hear that they are opening up applications again. If you would like a coach, I would be happy to help you. Let's set something up, set up a payment plan. Let's get you going and change your life in 2024, the year of the dragon. But yes, please do subscribe because it helps me. For sure, leave a thumbs up. Share this out to anybody that you think it might help or any groups that you might be in. And leave a comment. See you.